Yeah, we're away. Okay. So today it's going to be a little bit different. I'm completely knackered this weekend, so what I'm going to do is going to be a little bit of a shorter stream this time. But I'm going to go through a game or two games, depending on how long it takes. Against the bot on ISC, it's going to be unrated. I'm going to choose my move, then I'm going to have a look at Quackle, which is like a kind of an engine to like analyze games on Scrabble and that kind of thing. So I'm going to go through every move like that and try and decide. I'll make my play, talk through that, and then I'll go through what Quackle says, basically. Hopefully it'll be good games. And I won't have to redo it. If we ever get a blowout, I might just sort of play the game out quickly and then start another game. So let me just get my thing set up. So you do 99-minute games against the bot. No idea. So we're going to Void. Always need to play Void. It needs to be unrated, so we'll get rid of that. Because it's like an exhibition game. Alright, so it has to be 60, okay. I figured it might. What about... That's what it says. Oh, you can have 65, oh, that'll do. Even better. Alright, so it could be a long one. I don't know how long it's going to take. So let's find a proper bot. The best bot I can get, they should be averaging about 30... Average like 38 a move or something like that. Yeah, so we'll play Fleisch. Alright, so here we go. So yeah, and the increment works good. Alright, so they've played Jans for 40. 40 points up for the bot. And I've got two Fs, a G, O, R, S. Alright, so my first instinct here to play off Goth if I can. I'll try and get a good score with that. Or Offer. My first kind of instinct is Offer through the A. So I can do that for 20. Just make sure I've got my annotate and draw, so I can draw things on stuff as well when I get to that point. So yeah. So I'm looking at like Offer. It's a pretty good rack leave. I don't really want the G, but it's not too bad. It's fairly good defensively playing Offer. That would be like 20 points. The rack leave, I would guess, be about 12 to 15 points, plus 12 to 15. So the kind of move a value, given it's quite good positionally, I would say it's about 35. And we can check that later on and see how far off I am. But I'm saying that I think that move is going to be worth about 35 points, 20 for that obviously the score, which is easy enough to work out. We've got the rack leave, which is pretty 12 to 15 points, I would say. And the RS is going to be very good. And obviously S is worth about 8 points, 9 points on its own. Yeah, that's good and goes with the S well. They're going to help a little bit. Balance the rack, vowels and consonants, and then you got the G, which isn't really a great tile, but it should go okay with those letters, I figure. And you've got the N there, so maybe I get an ING, draw an I or something. So there's a little bit extra value with the G. Those other than normal, and I figure it's a slightly positive positionally, so I'm thinking about 35 for that. I've not seen a great deal else. I can't remember if you can have Ganoff 2Fs. Doesn't sound right. No. You can Fangle and Ganoff you can have, pretty sure. So you could play this. But it leaves the F. That's not going to be any better. Fairly sure on that. And you can all check I'm right later on. So yeah, it really is about getting the two Fs. That is the massive priority. And the O is the better vowel to get rid of. The G, if you could get rid of that. I mean, you could do Goths as well. Goth is to play golf, I think. So there's kind of the obvious options. You're also going to look at what you want to score. And obviously, if I do something like that, I'm going to score a bit more. So something like this would be You know, if you don't know those words, you'd maybe play something like fog here. Maybe perfectly respectable. What would you choose between fog and say frog? How would you try and decide between the two? Well, frog scores less, and that has a good tile, so you want to keep it. So certainly frog is going to be a lot better. I know some people would instinctively play frog, maybe because they feel it's a little bit better defensively or whatever reason. But don't worry about that too much. As I say, positionally, going to be very trivial differences between the two. It's mostly, almost always about score and rack leave. You know, obviously you'd be looking at the J as well. Not seeing any moves off the J that actually hit the double word score amazingly. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything else other than offer really. So I'm going to play that. I'm going to put that down. I'm going to play that now. I'm going to swap to a Quackle and see what that says in a minute. To feed in the move from the bot. So I play gems, and I have off ranks. Right. So we're going to swap to Quackle soon. Right. So that's what I think. I'm going to play that. But let's have a look at Quackle. As I say, I'm going to try something different here and see how this works. And look at that. No web camera on there either. So I can pull all sorts of faces now. You can't see me. Right. So let's have a look at Quackle. So just briefly, Quackle you can download. Just search for Quackle. It'll come up. Download it. When you do download it, first of all, this board will not be here. You'll have to set it up manually through here. You'll have to do add a new board. Then when you add a new board, it has like settings for symmetry and stuff. You just basically click on the letters until it's changed the right color, basically. And that's how you set up the board. You'll also obviously want it on CSW19. Alright, here we go. So let's generate choices. Interesting. I wouldn't have put fog above offer. I would not do that. I do think offer will go above positionally. These other options, yeah, so I put out Ganoff. Just make sure, yeah, you can hear me. Fag, another option, just really trivial. You could also do off, but there's no reason to play it off when you've got offer for 20. But if you know, so yeah, I don't think there's much to speculate about here. Let's have a see what happens when I simulate. As I say, you generally want to be 2 plies. You can do 1 as well, but it's best to do 2. So this is my selected move. Let's see what happens here. And yeah, looks like it's going to go on top. Looking good. Looking good. This is good. I'm actually going to get one right. I won't go too far because it'll just take forever. It's actually narrowing now. Fog might beat it amazingly. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, I'll stop it there. Like, basically, what you need to think with Quackle, a lot of people don't realize is you've got the statistical variation here. So at the moment, you've got 13, 14 iterations. Probably can't see that on the screen very well, but 1,314 iterations. And you're going to have variance with all these kind of things. So you have the win percentage, and kind of second favourite here. That's what it's in. I'm less than 50%. And you got the valuation, which is 32.5, which is kind of about what I expected. And so basically, statistically, there's not a significant difference yet. Like statistically, I can't say that offer is definitely better than fog based on this yet. I would have to do a lot more, probably tens of thousands of iterations, because these margins, it's only like 0.2%, which is like nothing. Like I think check it before. I mean, from memory, I think like the variation, like 2 standard deviations would be like 2 or 3% for this kind of range. So it's like literally any of these players on here could be best. You rerun it. I don't generally use Ask Championship Player unless it's towards the end, but even then, I kind of prefer just to simulate. but that's me. All right, so let's say offer looking good. Let's have a look at the details because that's another thing quite interesting. So I'll tell you about what your opponent's going to do next turn. That's quite an interesting thing. As you can see, offer, the opponent's score next turn is fairly low compared to some of these other alternatives. The fog gives slightly more points back, as I expect, because if you're playing fog, let me show you on the back on the board. If you play fog, my bad. If I play, oops, good idea. So if you do fog, look at that, same rack. You're going to give away a lot of parallel players. I'd actually expect it to be more points and more bonus percentage, but it doesn't seem to be like that. I guess the flowing O and flowing F give quite a few bonuses. I mean, the fact is that S is in the center square, so maybe that the fact that the S is there means that a lot of bonuses are already going to play. So you're really reliant on like floating tiles to kind of make 8s with racks that don't otherwise have a bonus. 7s that kind of they're already kind of a bonus. There's already like a 7-letter bonus there. They're going to play it onto the S, you would think. So that means maybe the having this extra 7 lane isn't that important because of the S. Because a lot of the time they're going to get the bonus on the S anyway, and it's going to score more on that lane. That's kind of my reasoning of it. Let's me try to explain it. So yeah, interesting. So as you see you got the standard deviation even. But yeah, you can see some moves are fairly more defensive than the others, and you can see offer 9A. So you you can't see this window on because of the weirdness of does it help? I'll do it onto I'll have to do a little bit of thing. Let me add another window capture. You can see. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. 13, 14 iterations. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, so you can actually see it now. I'm gonna have to, and I can actually move it where I want. So that's gonna be good actually. So I may as well shift it over here so I'm not blocking the board too much. There we go. Bit of magic there. You don't need to see the budgie, do you? Okay, so that's the details. If you click on details, this is what it'll bring up. And yeah, it shows you. I'll blow it right up so you can see. You don't really see the board that much. Oh yeah, you can see this is it. Offer 9A. And if you play offer with JA, that's going to give away a lot of points, as you'd expect. 52 points on average is your next opponent's score. And this is good for kind of looking at the positional aspect. Let's say, I was trying to explain the difference between, like I expected offer to be do a little better on position than say fog, because fog underneath gens kind of opens up a fairly accessible 7 lane, whereas offer just gives you the O and the F for your opponent to use to obviously play through 8s. But because the S is in that center square, I figure that's so good for a lot of 7s to play already. Like obviously a lot of 7s just gonna be nouns, you can add an S to. So I figure if there was something more blocky, like say if there's a Y there, I think it'd be kind of quite different. I think the results would probably favour offer even more, because you're not enabling those kind of 7-letter bonus recs to play. Obviously, you're not playing the 7-letter bonus. You'd play the 7-letter plus an S, so it's actually an 8. But you know what I mean. So that's what I think is the fairly trivial difference between the two. And you can also get the bonus percentage as well, the rightmost column. They don't vary that much because I think because of the S basically. I could rerun it with a Y, make it Janny just to see what happens. Where it really comes in, let's say Scrabble all about score and leave. Our next turn is where it really matters. And wow. So our bonus bingo percentage after offer, way higher than fog. Obviously, fog does score 3 more points, so you've got to compensate for that, obviously. And as you can see, offer, on average, scores 4 points more than fog. So you're making up that 3-point deficit there. So yeah, the bingo percentage, 45% after offer, compared to 24% for fog, which is like the second player, which is behind. So yeah, interesting. And you can see through this, and yeah, off, just dumping off, because you've got the S and the A, so you play it off underneath the S in gens. You obviously got the A hook, the S hook, and you've also got to play it under like SO, that kind of thing. So yeah, that makes sense. It'd be like 50%, but it also opens up a hell of a lot for your opponent as well. So yeah. And oh, it gives you, I didn't know this stuff. Giving you rec leftover value. I'm not sure how that works, to be honest. It's a bit new to me. Oh, I think that's after the next turn. So this doesn't really matter too much. All right. So close that off. Here we go. Interesting. Good stuff. All right. So let me just because I'm curious, I just want to put Jenny in just to see how much that would change things. Change. I may as well do this exhaustively. So let's do the same again. Obviously, you got different options, so let's just ignore those. Well, we're not interested in all these. We just want to do, let's say, offer versus fog. Let's see how this is going to change the situation. So, still not much between the two actually. Although obviously this time you've got the F, so there's a bit of value with FY, I suppose. But yeah, they're still pretty much neck and neck. And no, it's not showing the details properly. Reason? Oh well. Anyway, enough of that. Play our move. See what happens. Oh crap! I changed it on there. Oh well, never mind. Oh well, too late now. Yeah, not so good rag this time. I'm just sorting things out on. I was going to play offer, but never mind. So here we go. And it gets, yeah, so that's the kind of move I was worried about with fog. It just upgrades a lot of players like that, and it also makes it fairly flexible for opponent to. I mean, apart from anything else, the opponent could set something up. Obviously not with yes, but you know, they could set up an S or something. I mean, obviously you've got an S, so you don't worry about that. But they could easily play. I don't know. Say they've got two O's. They could play pal and set up an O. So it adds a little bit of extra strategic consideration. Obviously, this is a bot, so it doesn't have that. But a human player could take a little bit more advantage of that little area. So anyway, so we accidentally played fog, and we've got a tricky rack. Not as good. But the two I's, the U and the A. So 4 vowels, 3 consonants. So that's bad. I'll just swap you back. Sorry, swap back to the main IC again, so you can see that. And as you can see, all those. We've got Hey Jeff. Yeah, I've missed some of these messages. We're just catching up now. Oh, they just come through. Alright, so yeah, there's lots of options there. I'd say I would have played Alpha, but I mean, accidentally played Fog, but never mind. There wasn't much difference. So here, I say you've got vowels, 4 vowels, 3 consonants. So your priority, if you can, to try and play off more vowels here, if you can, and particularly the U and the I. The U is going to be, U is always a bad tile, apart from you've got the Q there. But the U is generally like -5, -6 points. You wreck. The first I isn't too bad. Second one will be again about probably -6, -7, around that ballpark. So getting rid of the U and the I is going to improve your rec by about 12 points or so. I mean, that's just based off, depends on how you balance it. So, like, even, like, the most trivial level, if you played Uni, that would score you 5. The rec leave, I don't know about, but just playing off the U and the I is going to improve your rec by about 12, 13 points thereabouts. And probably the rec leave is about 12 to 15 again, I think. That kind of ballpark. So that move would have about a value of about 20. And those values matter if you're changing. Because obviously a change can score nothing, so you've got to think, well, if I'm changing, how good are the tiles I'm going to keep? If you're changing here, you might get rid of, like, probably these letters. Even ARS, that'll probably be worth about 12, 13, 14, something like that. But obviously, changing is not going to be a good idea, because you can score reasonably well. So here we've got age, just going to take an R and an S hook. So yeah, you're going to be looking at something like that. And this goes pretty heavily, even though obviously you're leaving a U, which is not nice. You really don't want to leave the U, but maybe kind of forced into it. You're getting 27 again. The rec leave is probably getting on for about neutral, I would say. S is obviously a great tile, but the U and the F, not good. It's not a nice kind of combination. So I reckon that would be worth about 27 points. Just the score it gets, because the rec leave I think is about neutral. Positionally, there's going to be a priority here to get rid of this hotspot. This is a hotspot. Against a high level bot, they're going to get fling down bonuses a lot anyway, but there's still a priority to get rid of this. I don't really see anything else, to be honest. I don't know if there's any kind of you'd be looking at if there was any doubles through age, Fireage or something silly like that, but that kind of thing, you look for that. Yeah, I don't really see much else other than RAI, to be honest. So we'll put that down and have a look for Quackle. I'll make the play this time in case I accidentally screw it up again. Alright, so let me just put the right rec in. Just as well I can remember recs pretty well. Alright, here we go. So let's swap over to Quackle. Here we go. So this was the position. Did I miss anything? No, not really. It looks like Ray, however you pronounce it, is the standout. Yeah. The only other competition is off. That does kind of block that spot, so positionally they'll probably be fairly similar. Although the Rye has the disadvantage of giving access to that triple, as you can see, because it's going to take a lot of hooks. RAI, you're going to have the K, obviously. ND, they were also played, would hook it. You got loads of things that go there, so it does give access to the triple, which is a little bit of disadvantage positionally, but as I say, that kind of thing is overrated by people all the time. Alright, so let's have a quick whiz through with Simulate. Oops, the right one. There we go. So, yep, Ray's still winning. I don't think there's too much to say about that. It looks fairly good. As you can see, our win percentage is already looking pretty bad. We were 1 in 4 shot already. Awesome. So yeah, I mean, off kind of slipped further down unexpectedly. Let's have a look out of curiosity. So yeah, on reply, our upper scores. Let me just do the magic again. There we go. There we go. So kind of whiz off the edge. There we go. That's better. So yeah, you can see next move, your opponent's going to score 41 on average. You can see the moves that don't kind of touch that ager spot. Your opponent scores an awful lot, potentially. So yeah, nothing too much to worry about there. And we look down. What we do next turn, not too fantastic, but we do get reasonable shot at bonusing. Okay, so we shall move on. Array was planned. And we'll get back to ISC. Right. Here we go. You can see everything properly. Yep. So we got flip and CUS. I was trying to find some flick ups without a K. Flick ups, that'll do. Right. So yeah, that's it. This one doesn't look good for a bonus, does it? We've got kind of if you're kind of building words, which is what you should always do, you're looking at suffixes, prefixes, that kind of thing. So you look at full here with this rack. See if you can kind of build anything with that. Make a bonus. You always have to look for a bonus first, even if it doesn't look particularly helpful. So yeah, you'd have a look at that certainly, but doesn't look particularly good for bonusing. Yeah. So you've got a few options. You could do cheesy, well, straightforward plays using ages, stuff like flicks. I say that it's slightly constant heavy, 5 to 2, but it's not too much of a problem here. Obviously the U, pretty bad tile. So it's more of a priority to get rid of that if you can. You could do something like cusp, 36. It's a pretty good score, and it doesn't open up that triple, and you're getting rid of the U. So that looks pretty strong so far. You could do a bit more fancy unclips, 30. I think I like cusp so far. I don't think there's much in terms of rack leave. Keeping IL. I don't think whoops, IL even. I don't think it makes much difference between whether it's just F or FIL. I think they're pretty much the same. The F is bad, so it's probably slightly bad. So I'd reckon the value of this move would be about low 30s, probably like 32, 33 points this, because the rack leave is bad. The position is fine, doesn't give anything much away, so you're not really altering the position of the board too much. You would do if you play flicks. So yeah, it looks like cusp, I think. And the S isn't that valuable. I mean, it's always a good tile, but it's not that valuable on this board at the moment. I mean, it obviously can change very quickly, but on this board, with that S in that center square, it makes the S a little bit less valuable, quite a fair bit less valuable. There's no S hooks to play sevens onto. So yeah, it kind of looked like cusp. And I think we'll probably go with that. And see what it does. Interesting. So let's have a look. Let me just put the move in from ISC bot. And cusp fill. Right, so let's have a look. And we'll get rid of that. There we go. So here was the position on Quackle. So yeah, cusp was the option. Let's see if I missed anything. Yeah, it looks good. Ficus, that's nice. I didn't see that. Or Qfs, Quiffs, whatever. Ficus, that could be quite close between those two. I'm surprised PL is given as a negative rack leave. It's given as minus 0.5. So it says Ficus scores 34, but the evaluation is 33.5. So it's indicating that the rack leave of PL is negative to the tune of half a point. With feel, it's saying it's negative to the tune of minus 0.8. So this is it's fairly neutral. So yeah, we've got unclips down here. Yeah, quite a way down. But yeah, cusp looks good. But let's have a look at all simulation. See how it flips around. Looking good for cusp. Our win percentage is down to about 1 in 5 now. But yeah, that one at this point I would say statistically, it's almost statistically, yeah, it'll be about statistically significant that cusp is better than ficus. I would say it's bordering on that possibility. We'll do the details again. Let me working now. Yep. Cool. So there you go. So you can see opponent move next turn. Cusp does pretty well on there. 38. So you can see something like unclips improves your opponent's move by about a couple of points. Flicks was one of the things I mentioned. Flicks that improves the opponent's move by quite a lot. 45.5. So the opponent scores 45.5 after flicks and ages compared to 38.5. So 7 points more. So that's quite interesting. Shows you how much. You can see all the moves that from 12A that open up the triple. They all upgrade the opponent's score by quite a bit. We'll also upgrade your own score a little bit as well, because there'll be times when your opponent doesn't go there and you get the benefit of it. The thing with Scrabble is, whenever you open anything, it's not just you. It's not just your opponent that gets first shot at it. You also get, if they don't use it, then you get a shot at it. So it's never a case of like they use it 100% of the time, you get 0% of the time. If it's a heavily, if it's such a big hotspot, then they'll probably use it 80-90% of the time. If it's a decent-ish score or decent-ish spot, it may be 60-40%. It just varies on how useful it is, and also how relative to all the rest of the board, how open that is and so forth. But yeah, fairly interesting, and we'll have a little whiz down at the I'll move next turn. There's not a great deal difference, other than if you dumped off FU. If you dumped off FU, you can see the bonus percentage with clips. It's surprisingly good. You play FEU through the Ian Kendo. So yeah, if you do that, then yeah, it's giving you an S lane, and your bonus percentage is 42.7% compared to Cusp, which is like 20% chance of bonus next turn. Interesting stuff. And yeah, those are the things that have similar. If you play if, just dump off the F itself, or you play like fun, yeah, that kind of thing. So yeah, interesting. Okay, so Cusp it is, and the bot played QIN. And we'll swap back to ISC. Right, so our rank is Flux Rin. So X, not looking too good. With that, let's move our bonus. Our win percentage goes down because even though it only scored 31, it has used one of the blanks. So, and also it could mean that they've got 2 blanks. That would be more true if it was a human. I think a human would play that. But the trouble with these bots is, if they can't, these bots don't change, so they'll often do stuff like that. Because they can't change or pass. Well, they can pass, but they can't change. So if they had like 6 constants and a blank, they'd play something like that rather than change. Which is probably going to be better in a lot of those situations. Anyway, so yeah, this wreck, this one could be more tricky. Happy I've actually not made any massive mistakes yet, but it'll come. Don't worry. Right, so yeah, the X obviously scoring tile, but I don't see anything great with it, to be honest. It's really not looking good if I play Cox. There's Coxer, Coxy, that kind of thing. I may be stuck with something like Docs here, realistically. Oh, can you have Exfil? Is that good? I can never remember that it's a newish one. Yeah, Exfil. I'm thinking that's going to be best. Unless I'm missing something. I think Exfil probably be a fair bit better than Docs. So Exfil. Leaving Nor, N and R both good, could be good together. The O's going to lose a bit of value. Could be in an I or an E or an A. That'd be a pretty good rec leave, maybe like 5 or 6 points or something like that. but they need probably 8 to 9-ish. With an O, it's probably still positive, but only like a couple of points, I would say. So you're getting a value of about 32 with that move. Where's Docs? We'll put that in. So Docs, you're leaving 4 constants and 1 vowel. I would say that's fairly definitely negative of a rack leave. I'd say that's fairly negative. So probably, if I guessed, I would say that move would be worth about 20. I think I'll go about 9 or 7. That rack leave. I might be exaggerating a bit, but I think that would be my guess. We'll have a look soon. I don't see anything else. Just have a look at chat. I'm not missing anything obvious. So we're gonna go with exfil. Well, again, don't worry about stuff like this. It's a non-factor really. So that's best by distance for me. We'll see what happens. We'll have a look. Up to Wackle. Get the right rack in. Exfil, no. Let's have a look. Yay! Oh, I didn't think of an N-fix, but yeah, it does think Phonics is nice as well, actually. Phonics through the O in Kendo. There's quite a few moves I didn't really think of. Docs is third best after N-fix, yeah. What about N-fix? But Exfil's, it looks typically Exfil's going to be better. Also, you've got the fact that we've already got 3 N's down on this board. So the N is a pretty nice tile to keep. There's only 2 more N's. You can see here, 2 N's to come, so that increases the value of the N as a rack leave, because they're not really available as a floater as well, and you're unlikely to duplicate them, so it makes them better. So I'm expecting Exfil do well here on the sim. Move away from N-fix a little bit. Let's see what happens. Yeah. So you can see the valuation is a little bit better than I thought. Still on for about 40 points. So it's indicating Gnaw is quite strong actually. Rising down about 39 now. But 38, that's kind of more I expected. But yeah, Exfil is winning convincingly. And we'll have a look. Hills. So you can see our opponent's next score, they get more off N-fix than N-fill. Docs doesn't give much away. I mean, obviously it's more defensive KG. But we're obviously going to sacrifice our own score as well, quite significantly. Cox, again, you can see Cox in that bottom left, does a high opponent next move, as you can see, very high. I mean, it's pretty like mid-30s, and then Cox is like 44.6. That's how big an opening that is. Let's have a look at our own move as well. So yeah, we're doing pretty well after Exfil, 48 points on average, and yeah, surprisingly high bonus bingo percentage, 37.5. Doesn't look like it's worked out for me, but yeah, you can see some of the others keeping the X bag. You got like 1%, 2% and things. But yeah, interesting. And as I say, you can see from that certainly Exfil, that rec leave, it looks a fairly trivial difference, but in reality it's like 5% extra bonus. So yeah, it makes a big difference. So interesting stuff. And okay. So Exfil goes down, and we'll go back to ISC. We can see it's not going too well. So we got Giver from the bot, and I'll type that in on the wrong bracket. All right. So I think there's a word Roborant, something like that, but it doesn't play anywhere. I'm trying to think of. Is it Roborant? No, it's something like that. I can't remember. Anyway, it's not relevant. Yeah, typical frustrating wreck. So yeah, two O's, 2 R's. So duplicate issues to sort out. And yeah, I'll have a look at that word. I don't know what it is I'm thinking of. Oh, look, it's bugging me now. What am I thinking of? I don't know why those messages came back up again. Is it Roborant? That's it. Roborant I'm thinking of. Yeah, the B bonus with an A. Roborant. Right. Is that out of the way? Right. So this is a kind of the obvious hotspot on this board, given it doesn't look like I've got any bonuses. So we're playing something here with 3 so immediately I can see like bento, but it just leaves 2 R's. So it's directly it isn't going to be too great with that. The duplicates. So if you look and see if it could do anything better than that, or just go on the triple. We'd have like robot maybe. Robot leaving N double R, that'll definitely be negative. So bento looks better than that. Case whether there's anything anyway getting rid of that R. Well, like I could do like reboot. Do better rec leave, but positionally that's gonna be horrible. Open up the triple with a T in the middle. Yeah. That's gonna be a horrible rec leave. Yeah, I'm not seeing. I think I might be going. The alternative is I just leave all that, ignore that together and play something off the C, but. Or maybe, well, Oyez is a possibility as well, so I should mention that. Do I have any plays? Played an E. It'd be great to have force. It'd be get good score with that as well, but I don't think I've got anything there. So yeah, keep an eye out for that. Could come in handy. So the could be handy for that later on, but doesn't look like anything plays there at the moment. So yeah, I'm having a good look, but I don't see anything that uses an R here, other than like reboot. I'm kind of tempted. I'll have to go towards bento. I'm not worried about the S hook at all. You've already got a big S hook here, so you're not like if they're gonna get a bonus here, they're already gonna have a bonus anyway. You know, and likewise, if you don't play that there, they're gonna have like ST bonuses, like IST, that kind of thing. So it doesn't actually make much difference in terms of bonusing. It just means that they'll score a bit more probably. But even still, with exfil adding S to that, it's going to be throwing a lot just off all that clunk. So yep, yeah, I can't see anything else. Then maybe something here, but I'm going to do bento. See what happens. Interesting. Let's have a look. I'll swap over to Quackle and see what happens. Did I miss anything? So Beton and Bento, there's not really any difference between the two. Or Reborn, I didn't think of that. But again, it's the positional aspect will be bad. So as you can see, RN, rec leave is pretty good. Like two and a bit points. And as you can see, negative for O double R, as you'd expect. And N double R, even more negative. Yeah, it's about -6 for that. O double R is about -4. Kind of what you would expect. The trouble is, it hasn't taken position into effect. So once you take the position into account, which is what happens when you simulate, I'd expect these things to move around a bit. You could do Beton, Bento over Beton. The only reason to play Bento over Beton, there's just this double words thing again. So if you put the vowel there, it's going to be easier. It's also be easier to play underneath to the triple. I think Bento is better for that. But it doesn't really matter too much. Alright, let's see what happens here. Yes. Nice one. So, yeah. Bento looking a little bit better. And let's say we're still at 1 in 5 chance of winning, which isn't that good. But you can see, Bento's a little bit better. Let's say, if we have the J or the Z, and you play that kind of move, then maybe, but they're already gone, so. Right. Let's do the details thing as always. You can see reboot gives our opponent's score next turn with reboot and reborn is a lot higher. Beton, as I say, it's about 4 points higher for that versus Bento. So that little subtle difference 4 points difference in. Yeah. Also, the floater is important. So leaving the N out instead of the O, even that has an impact on the bonus potential, the bingo potential. Like 1.5% difference in bingo percentage because the N is better for bonusing than the O. Yeah, interesting stuff. It shows you how important all that kind of thing is. And our opponent, our next turn, obviously, when you play something more open, it's going to improve our scores and bingo potential as well. But have a look at all this. So I didn't really look at Brule onto the L in Xfill. So we'll just show that. That's actually the third best player that's coming up. So if you play Brule, the reason why that's so high up is because you can see the bingo percentage for us next turn is 42% near enough. Compared to like Bento, it's like 20. Yeah, interesting. Interesting. All right. So I played Bento anyway. So down that goes. And we'll get back to the bot on ISC. Have a look. So the bot played HM. Let's stick that in on there. Right. So here we go. So we now have an S again. We kind of used our one fairly early. It's messed up our. I don't think we would have had much off that Oyez player anyway, but gone now. A little bit of a shame for us with it, but yeah, interesting. I'm hoping there's no bonus here. Interesting dilemma. So yeah, you've got that obvious spot in the bottom right. What to do with that? Don't really see a great deal, to be honest. Obviously, looking at our rec itself, S is great. 1 hour is good. Second art, very bad. But pretty okay. It's not going to be overwhelmingly good because we don't have an E. If we had an E with this rec, we could leave some really great recs. But without that E, it's not going to be that good. We're going to rely on basically drawing one. There is 9 E's to come in the unseen pool, so that's pretty good for us. Right, so what are we going to do with this is the question. I think I'm maybe making a mistake where I do here. There's a few options. So this would be pretty good for our bonus chances, but it does open up a rather big hotspot. So that'll give away a lot of points in the future, but it does leave all our options open. It might actually help us in the respect that it'll block this bonus lane onto the S. So that's actually good in some aspects. So that kind of bounces out a little bit. We're less likely to use that given we've got an S. Most of the time our opponent's going to play anywhere elsewhere. And you've got if your opponent doesn't have an S or a blank, which most of the time they won't, then we've got a bit of exclusivity with these areas on here. So we kind of want to stuff them over by, giving them, blocking all the stuff they have access to, and just make it about us with our S until we finally hit something. So Hori does that quite nicely, but as I say, it probably will give away a lot of points potentially. These they've just played HM, which kind of suggests those kind of M's and V's and W's and Y's. Well, that kind of stuff. So I'm really a little bit worried about that. Interesting. Look around elsewhere. Like, I'm pretty sure you can't have Uma yet. It's just so it'd be nice to have the E for that as well. You could place them in like higher or something, HIER, that kind of thing. But what have we got here then? Also here, I guess. What have we got? Irish? I think of Irish. Yeah. Oh, I guess that 35. Not overly enamored with that, but let's go 35. The rec leave is probably the R's good or isn't. It's probably slightly positive. Compared to Hori, crap, I keep doing that. Annoying. Compared to Hori, so Hori 22, Rackleaf probably another low teens maybe. So they're going to be pretty much about on par, I would think. Just score and leave those two, but it's hard to compare the position. I figure that doesn't really block anything for the bot, and it does mean like that S is really valuable for us. Now that these two spots are open, that S is pretty strong, more than the usual 8.5 points thereabouts. But I don't really like giving scores back with that either. But like that too many big tiles available. B, P, M, 2 W's and a Y. Really those that would be painful. I can absorb something with a D and that whatnot. You're doing a little bit of inference here, so that's not going to be reflected when you look at the Quackalot analysis. I'm kind of going to look at the inference. Let's have a look at the take that town and we'll list the moves. So, like the bot has played QIN with a blank, indicating it probably had no vowels at that point. And it played Giver, which is another kind of clunky rack, and HM, which is kind of indicates again clunky rack. So you're kind of veering away from creating this kind of opening, but I don't know. It's a tough call. I hope I'm not missing anything. You can't have Orish, can you? Let me just double check. Oh no. Yeah, I knew Orisha, but so what do I do? Difficult dilemma between those two. Let's look around. I mean, I don't really see anything else that competes with those two. Maybe missing something, but it's just between those two. Difficult one. Thing is, if we're bringing those back, if the bot doesn't have vowels, if it's only got like one vowel, and I play Hori, it's having difficulty to really use this. It'd need like an L or an R. There's only 2 R's to go, so it'd be more like an L. And you'd have to play blow, clue, that kind of thing. Otherwise, you're gonna need 2 vowels realistically. But I don't like it, but I think we have to go for that. Yeah. The kind of clunky rack that it would enable. I don't like that, but I wanted to keep the S back. Alright, let's have a look at I figure that it'll probably Ori might come a little bit better. On here. Oh, Orisha. Oh, I didn't even, well, no. That's no good. Oh, Irish with double R, I didn't think of that. I didn't know it either, to be honest, but don't tell anybody. Right, so there's a few options here. For me, it was between Hori and Irish. And Orisha is nice, but it opens up the triple. Nah. But yeah, we'll have a simulate, see what happens. So I went with Hori. I think Hori will work better on the simulation than actual, because with inference, the bot generally has that kind of clunky rack. Gonna score a bit off that more than the bonusy rack, but I don't know. Let's have a look. So yeah, Hori is coming near the top. Yeah, it's pretty much. Yeah, they're all pretty much up there or thereabouts. Between Irish and Hori as I expected. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, they're pretty much all about the same. We'll just stop it there. They're all pretty much, they're still within statistically insignificant bounds. So any of these top 4 probably could be the best player. I mean, it's winning on valuation, Hori, but losing on win percentage. But yeah, interesting. As you can see, on the ISC I drew a lot of vowly crap. But yeah. So again, we'll have a look at the details. Do that again. So you can see up or next turn. Yeah, it's actually pretty much yeah. Arish is going to be a lot lower than Hori, as he expected, but you're going to compensate with higher scores you're on. Orisha is the same. They're all kind of giving away a lot. And what we're going to do next turn. So Hori, almost 50% bonus next turn. So that's where it really makes up on that score. 50% nearly to bonus. How did we end up with 3 A's, 2 E's, and RS? But yeah. What can I say? So yeah, interesting. Interesting indeed. Just playing OR off B13. The 13 white. Oh yeah, here. OR. That's what's given. That's what all B13 is. That is it. So, yeah, leaving hairs gives you a very high score. It's obviously not as high in bonuses as Ohori, but with the H you're gonna get a lot of like players and stuff with that. But yeah, interesting. So yeah, given that I kind of do think Arish probably be better, a little bit better. But we played Hori, and it didn't go well. Let me just disappear that. There we go. Did it wrong. Hori. Win. Right, let's go back to ISC. So, how do they say unlucky? Just in case anybody would know what glim means. Why doesn't it just tell you instead of a load of links? Anyway, well, curious. but yeah, that wasn't a good pickup, was it? So yeah, again, you try and be patient here and try and realize that you're gonna be good if you get rid of a couple of ILC, even if it's just 2 A's. You're in pretty good pretty good shape. It is a vowel heavy bag though, so there's that. So you could easily pick up more vowels, but yeah. I'm having a look. I can't really do anything here. It'd be nice to play like Ava or Avaro, but none of those are going to work. You could do. Can you have Arias or not? Yeah, you could do that. It's good of a score, but 32. So let's go 32. Or you could do something like this, leaving 2 E's. That's definitely worse. Something like that. Oh wait, I've got to play area here, kinda. Oh, I nearly missed that. I could do that as well. That'll leave a pretty nice ARS. So again, you're getting that value. So that's worth about 30. Compared to Arias, which scores 32, but it's leaving 2 vowels. Given this bag, which is vowel heavy as well, that's gonna be worse than playing area in the same spot. How does area? Can you do area here? Not really. Doesn't quite fit around there, does it? Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards area. So if you don't know those words, what else would you play? I say playing just say 2 A's off would be perfectly reasonable. Although it's not going to score a lot, is it? But that'd be certainly better than changing. But I guess you could do E's as well. So, but yeah, you're losing a lot of value there. But I do think double A would be better than something like E's. But if I was your opponent, and you know, if I'm like 90 odd ahead, and my opponent plays something like E's, like I'm very happy to see that gone. Basically, same as even if they do something here, I'm happy to see it gone. So yeah, I think I'm looking for area really. Let's say there's so many E's to come, it's not a big deal. So sometimes you'd be better off just doing that. But given that bag, I think you're better off playing the E as well. But I expect on Quackle, it'll prefer area without that. But I think in reality, for another 7 points, and I think actually the leave might be slightly better. But yeah, we're going to do that. And then we got austere. But let's have a look with the Quackle. So this is a position. As I'm expecting, unless I've missed obviously something, which is very likely, I do think it'll prefer area without the E on the ends. Yeah, that's what I kind of expected. And as you can see, just dumping off 2 A's is perfectly respectable. If you don't know those words or whatever. But yeah, that's kind of what I expected. But I'm expecting area, given the bag is so skewed and vowel heavy in there. I'm expecting putting the E on the end to move up. It might still be better to play area, but let's have a look. It's pretty tight. Maybe it isn't. Still prefers keeping the E back. I'm going to leave it, see how long I want to leave it going to it. They're kind of pretty much there or thereabouts in terms of win percentage. But yeah, it still prefers. Alright, okay. So it still prefers keeping the E back, which is fair enough. But as you can see, it didn't really work out with what I picked. I got austere, so I picked out 2 E's anyway. But so let's have a look at the details. And we'll bring up the window on there. So yeah, you can see opponent move next turn. It doesn't really make much difference. Just dumping off 2 A's at 14B. It's saying, oh, right down here, the bottom left corner, double A. The 14B is there. So that's the 14B, that's the 4th example. That's why it goes way up to 46.5. And let's have a look at the main thing here is our next turn. So surprising how much of a difference there is there between the two. So I wouldn't have, as I say, I mean, we drew 2 E's anyway, so didn't work out in this particular permutation. It kind of seemed like a good idea, but interesting. And the thing with the E's is, even having 2 E's isn't a problem, so there's that. There may be also that it blocks bonuses with ending in EST. If I play area, maybe blocks some bonuses as well. My own bonuses with the S, so like, if I get an EST bonus, it doesn't play anymore. So there might be that playing a part as well. Yeah, you can see quite a big difference in our score next turn. So the bonus is really different. So it's like nearly 50% versus 64%. It's like 14% change just playing that E off. And about 7 points of difference in terms of score. But yeah, it narrowed as I expected it would, but yeah, it still turns out that there's area. But again, that might be just positional rather than because there's so many E's to come. But I don't know. It's hard to evaluate whether it's down to the position or not on this, unless I could just like make up another position, like make the word OEAREA, but move the E over here and simulate that. What I mean is do this. do that instead. But even then, that's going to affect the board because you might have a bonus on the O, so or through the O. But I could, try and simulate that to try and deduce whether it was because it blocked the EST bonuses and bonuses ending in SE, that kind of thing. But anyway, enough of that area it was. And we got Elstir. The ISC bot played Codens. And we got Triegs. This is where I missed some comically easy bonus, probably. But Triegs looks like the only playable one here. I can see Resolute through the L. This is where my rustiness shows. Treasure Austera. I think Glime is good, but yeah. It just looks like Triegs. This one isn't going to be too interesting. It's just going to be about. Yep. Oh, sorry about that. I keep forgetting to. Sorry. So yeah, I played Triegs. Sorry, I didn't block that off. But yeah, Triegs. There's the chat thing is really weird today, with me swapping back and forth. Sorry about that. But did I miss anything? No, it's just Triegs. And if you don't know that word, we'll simulate it just to show what's the best word. If you don't know Triegs, what's the best option? Well, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how much these bonuses, because they're going to be loads of bonuses potentially here. As you can see, even if you don't know Triegs, it's not that much better than some of the other options. It's only like 11 points better than EAU, which I'm guessing is underneath CH. Yeah. So if you just play EAU, the next best option, or just XU here, then you're not far. You're only losing like 11 points of value here, because a lot of the time you will draw a bonus and the bonus will score more. But so let's have a look what the bonus percentage for next turn is. As you can see, after Triegs, our bonus percentage is awful. Well, opponent's bonus percentage is in the floor, basically. But let's have a look what happens. So if you just dump off the U, like 86.6% of the time, you have a bonus next turn. And even with O, as in the water, it's like 64%. So it shows you, good, I got to swap again. Sorry, my bad. So even when you, I'll show you the top one again. So those are our bonus. That's what our opponent's going to do next turn. See, a very low bonus percentage, bingo percentage for the bonus, for the bots, and fairly low scores in the 30s mostly. And then what we do next turn, if we don't know Triegs, then dump off the U, you're still on average scoring 72 and bonusing 86.6% of the time. Obviously, that relies on you spotting all the bonuses, but it gives you an idea of how good your odds are, basically. So yeah, even if you miss that, the Triegs player, you don't know the words, you're not losing a lot of equity there. Like 11 points of value, or thereabouts. Just dump off the U, or you just dump the EAU, that kind of thing. So yeah, interesting. Anyway, we played Triegs, and the bot played Leopard, and we've got the blank. Hey, we like to see. I'll put the rec in here first, because otherwise I'll forget. Right, swapping back and closing that off. There we go. Yeah, this is where I'm struggling. So, as you can see, the bonus percentages you could see were awful, absolutely awful, and you can see why looking at this board. Let me just check Glime. So yeah, Glim does take an E. But yeah, so we're going to look at the board and see where we can bonus realistically, because we kind of need a bonus. We're still 84 down. So S, the E. Bentos, but that would need a blank as the S, because there's no more ISs to come. It's not looking good, is it, folks? So, I mean, priority here really is to score enough to try and stay in touch, because we're already 84 down. It'd be nice to get something through this O with a V, but don't think there is anything. No, we're not without burning the blank, which isn't worthwhile, I wouldn't have thought. I'm assuming I'm not missing any bonuses. There's like Aquavit as a 7, but it doesn't play, obviously. You could have something ending in H as well, but S. Can't have Alleviate, I haven't got enough E's. Too many A's. So yeah, it's a tricky one. It's not really. You'd love to have something through here at least score. The trouble is, you expect, particularly against a human player, they'll be looking to play through here, kind of block that off. But they'll be also trying to do it in a way that doesn't make this triple very likely. But yeah, it's not looking good. And this one, I'm not like seeing great options with so far. Yeah, this is a bit of a tricky one. This move. Yeah. So yeah. What do I do here? So we'll look at the unseen. We'll have a look at that first. I mean, obviously the rec is vowel heavy, as you'd expect. Priority to get rid of the U and the A and the V, so like Uva, that kind of thing. Vor, all these kind of moves. Very reasonable choices. So those are the kind of tiles you'd be looking to get rid of. So you'd quite happily get rid of an eye as well. There's 3 eyes to come, so every opportunity to draw another one. Sadly, but as I say, you only get rid of so much. Let's have a look at the pool. So again, there's the usual thing. Counts the Y as a vowel, so it's 12 and 12 actually, but yeah, and even the T, like it's good to have that consonant T, but there's 3 more T's to come, so you're quite likely again to duplicate. Kind of frustrating, but yeah, it's not a great rec. Can't score anything, and even the decent tiles are bad. So yeah, unlucky, I guess. So we've got the blanks, so I can't really complain that much. But oh well. So yeah, I don't really know what to do with this one. I could be like, I could play Tava, but there doesn't seem any point in that. I played Tava, setting up this. Tava takes an H as well. I mean, a human player would just play through here, and that's all dead. So you don't want to play around here particularly. You want to try and at least open something else up. So I'm thinking Uva, bottom left. It's not a great opening, but it's better than nothing. Yeah. That's all I'm really seeing. So, yeah. I can't see anything through the O. The trouble is, it's just gonna be frustrating because I expect the bot will play through the O, score 30 plus with a W or a Y, and then I'm out of I'm like 100 down. So even if I bonus, I'm still well behind. But Uva looks the best of a bad lot. Right, I play it, and we'll swap over. See what happens. Oh. Right. So let's have a look. What are the options here? Yeah. Kiviot. Ooh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice. It does kind of block things, but it's still style points. I like it. So yeah, Uva. Yay, it looks good. So, yeah. So this one, I'm gonna simulate. Well, no, what actually, but there's a lot of position aspect, and Quackle. When you get into a situation where like you really need to open up lanes and stuff, like Quackle won't really properly block or factor in stuff like this. So, but yeah, I think Uva looks good considering it doesn't look like I've missed anything. I expect Sims could go all over the spot, all over the shop, but okay. So you can see our win percentage isn't great, and that doesn't really matter too much at this point. where it matters is at the end game, particularly if you don't have much time and you're trying to like summarize like what's going to be like say you're like 20 points behind, like recognizing that like you need to go all out for a bonus, or you can still win a lot if you draw like this or this tile, or the opponent has, you know, like a Q or something like that. Like recognizing like how good your odds are helps with just to kind of summarizing like whether you need to go all out to open stuff or go for a bonus or just try and score your way. And that's you know, trying to go on the best strategy. But yeah, it looks like Uva is the play. And as you can see, yeah, we'll have a look at this. So yeah, see our opponent's bingo percentage is trivial, fairly trivial, single digits. They're going to score a lot unless you play. I mean, the scores is getting like high 30s, mainly through. If you're doing a leaves, it'd probably have a hotspot map, and it would tell you that most of the players are going to be through the O encodings, I guess. Let's have a look at our next turn. And yeah, so Uva, our bonus percentage, bingo percentage is like 51%. This is where it shows how important that blank is for your bonus odds. Yeah, incredible. The difference is like our odds of like 50% versus your opponent's single digits. That makes the blank super important. So you can see their scores next turn in the high 50s just because we bonus so often. So yeah, happy with that one. And the bot played bow, and now we'll take that capture off, and we now have that. Right, back to ISC. It's supposed to be a quick one tonight, and ends up staying forever anyway. It's been a good game anyway. So hopefully this will make it a little bit more fun. So there must be bonuses here. This is where I'm going to struggle. So like orality or something through the U, but that's not gonna fit. Oh, this is gonna be yeah, pulling teeth. I might kind of cheat on this one just so I'm not missing it. It'll make the end game more fun. So right, because this isn't really about. It's just whether you can spot bonuses or not. And you're gonna go through all the letters. You basically have to play here, even if you don't bonus. You have to play here. There's stuff like a liar. An Oba, for instance, would score pretty well. But yeah, you have to go here because it's just all those vowels. The bot is going to get a good score there. So you need to do it. You need to go there if you can't spot a bonus. What have we got? F, G, H, L. I can see there. I don't want to take time, so I'm going to cheat just to see if there's any sevens or bonuses, because it's not really about as an anality courses. But it doesn't play, so great. And anything through the S. Yeah, there's lots of. I think there's be stuff through the S, but honestly, you have to play that. You can't play S bonuses here. It just isn't worth it. Just is not worth it. So yeah, because you're just automatically losing, because you can see how unlikely bonuses are on this board. So you need to get within striking distance as much as you can and get that out bonus. Because this, let's say you just play the bonus here, it gets 70. So you know, like 3, 2, 6, and like 35 up, and there's like 4 in the bag. They just play 3 letters here, 70 up. Your chances of winning are like a fraction of a percent, and they shouldn't be that bad. So yeah, what should I do? Let's say there's a liar. 42. Okay, and the T is duplicated, but it's a vowel heavy bag, so leaving a consonant is good. We don't really have much choice, really. There's like a liar. Can I do anything with Ute? We've only got one hook here. Is that? So you know, it's like could do that. We could go more creative actually. This could be interesting. So you could do something like that, and hope to get a huge bonus with Yobs. That might be interesting. That'd be another kind of way of playing it. Again, a human player would probably think of to try and play something across here to kind of obscure all that, but that might be interesting. As I say, it's about working out what you're. I mean, we're in really dire straits here. We're 105 behind. That would put us 80 behind, but we would have a half a chance. It would still be second favourite if we got a bonus, unless it was like a W or a D involved. We'd still be like second favourite, but yeah, that would be interesting. Let's have a look at Alaya. So Alaya puts us, what are we? About 63 down. I just don't like our odds. Yeah, I don't see how we ever win from that, to be honest. So let's do a bit. I think we have to go with Yar. We could also do yeah, we could do Lob, but that takes an I. Lob as well. I or an E. So it has to be I think. So we'll do that. Oh God. So it's accidentally blocked because it's going to score there with a W. So we're gonna have to go for a 9-timer now, folks. So that's gonna be fun in a minute. We have got bonuses on the U actually, altitude and latitude. But we have to go for the 9-timer. All right. So let's put that move in onto LA. Oh, I didn't think of that at all. So LA. I still like Alaya better than that, just because of the board situation. Yeah, I don't want to keep an eye. There's 3 more to come, so I say the bonuses are not worth it. So yeah, let's we'll do a simulation to the end here. It's going to be more complicated. I could use championship player. Does it have yard? It will have yard somewhere, hopefully. Yeah. So that's our player. Let's see what happens here. It's going to be a little bit slower doing the simulations here, but we'll see what happens. So I've changed the simulation to many, so it'll go to the end of the game here, basically. Let's see what happens. Our win percentage is, yeah, I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that for a second that our win percentage is that high. Nah. No way. They're suggesting just AY here. It prefers AY, but nah. And Ya's gone top now. But our win percentage shouldn't be that high. It really isn't that high. Particularly if you play the bonuses. I mean, the bonuses you can see there at the bottom. A fraction of a percent, as I said. Thinking like a robot has its uses in Scrabble. So yeah, I actually got that right. Blowing my own trumpet and that. But yeah. So I've actually played this pretty well so far. Fingers crossed. Let's have a look at the many plies. Back up. You can see if we play stay sail, players off the S, it gets like nearly 50 points in the next move in that O column. It just wins out of sight every time. Like we have almost 0 chance of winning to play the bonus. Whether you know them or not, doesn't matter. It's not the right move here. So, what was it? L7 is YA. Oh, it's not showing it on the thing, is it? Oh, there it is. L8. Yeah, here. So that's the one. So our bingo percentage is 55 after that. Why is it so high after AY? I guess because we still get stuff after S and stuff, but yeah. YA, looks at the play. As in, Quackle has its limitations. This is where it's really sucks at this point. Unfortunately for us, the ISC bot had a winter. Right, so let's go back to real life-ish. There we go. Sorted. So as you can see, I now need a triple. So I've got to try and think of a triple it can hit here. And hope that the bot doesn't play through the R, which is, to be honest, fairly likely, because it's got all 1 pointers. Where else is it going to score? It's probably going to do something through here to score, but we've got to try it at least. Obviously against a human opponent, they would block this, but we're not playing a human opponent. So what can we hit here? Like the best thing would be trying. We've obviously the blind has got to be an S. There's like what sevens can we like? Red tails, no dilators. What can we hit here to give our sensor a mathematical chance? I say we got altitude and latitude, but it's not going to win. Altitude for any. Is it obviously if the board's different situation? Yeah, you try and do that. What do we do? Also, I could play TID and ached in the bottom left. I did that. Maybe I could catch. Oh, nah, I couldn't really. But if there's pointy stuff in the bag, maybe you play something high scoring and catch up without the 9 timer. But yeah, it's going to need the 9 timer. We're just going to try and figure out something we can hit. So we probably need like an ER realistically. Oh wait, oh no, I was thinking trilets, but I would need to get rid of the D and a T. Yeah, I could do like I did T. If I got rid of TD, somewhere can I even do that? I might not be able to actually play them off. So if I played TD, no, that wouldn't work because. Oh, sorry, it's L. What am I thinking of? Trilets. I need to get rid of that, wouldn't I? AD. All right. Then I need to get OE out of the bag, which isn't too bad. So how it works mathematically, so there's 2 O's to come, so I can pick either one of those. So there's 2 combinations, there's 2 E's, there's another 2 there, so it's 2 times 2. There's 4 ways I can pick that out of like there are 90 2 tile picks I can have. So it's like 4 out of 90, which is about nearly 5% chance of getting triolets. Or triolets, whatever. So if I've been really like ultra smart here, I could even try and like bait the bot into playing somewhere else. Not sure that'd really work for a high score. Maybe it'll play through the U. That'd be okay, wouldn't it? I'm gonna try and bait the bot into playing somewhere else, and I'll play off DA. Let's say if anybody sees any, I can't see any 1 tile dumps. That would be even better. I could just dump off like 1 tile and give myself a chance, but I can't see how that would work. So I think I have to go for that. The triolets, whatever it is. I know it's like a poem because I played that on Countdown and had the pronunciation corrected, and I still can't remember how to pronounce it. But oh well. So what's the best option here to try and bait the bot into playing elsewhere. Could do something like that. But then I might not even win. I get the 9 timer. If I do triolets, it's 872. I get that. Oh, yeah, I would win it easily, wouldn't I? Plus another 24. 96. 146. So yeah, I think I'd win if I baited it to go somewhere else, even if I did that. 146, and that would put me on 427. Oh, maybe not actually. It plays like 2-re or something like that. 14, 20, 22. No, that wouldn't be enough. Crap. Yeah, I can't. I've got to play DA somewhere else and score a bit more, and just hope it plays through the U or whatever. Maybe it'll play through here, like Uri or something. Oh well, we'll just do it. Okay, I'm not gonna bother with well, I'll swap over to scoreboard just in case there's any fun ways I can win here. Hopefully, it won't crash my computer when I do this. But yeah, it's basically unwinnable. So if I did TID, it reckons there's a. So it said add as well. Gives me it said TID. So it reckons there's better shot with playing TID, and maybe there's more things I can hit than just triolets, like trailers and stuff like that, I suppose. Yeah, I guess it's like trailers. You're still having triolets, but alt. What could I draw from that? Trailers. Oh, anyway, it doesn't matter. It's a GG. At least it was kind of interesting at the end. Because I just got like 300 here. So never mind. So the bot has AOO. They're obviously trying to block all that out. Gonna be much of a problem because I don't have any. By the looks of it, he'd be looking for like an L for Alu or something like that. So what are the best? Oh, excuse me. What are the best option? Probably playing double O off. Double O here or something, or off. Yeah, off actually. Free off would be their best score. But is it really worth blocking that? Probably not. So you're just looking for an out and two. I'm too lazy to do this properly. Trying to think like exhaustively about end games when I've already lost. So it's just me. But yeah, you try and basically, if you could play like Titty off and leave like LIS LID, that'd be a reasonable combination. Because you're not really giving them anything with. If you play TT, then 10, they're not getting anything off that. They're going to play it off. And you're still you're out here, which is going to score quite nicely. You're like 8, 10, 17. They're getting like 27 for that combination. Maybe I'll do better than that. But are you man? I am, yes. So yeah, I could do TT down here actually. This goes another point. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. The plays off as expected. We'll do LRS. There we go. That's the game. So yep, that's pretty much it. I think I played it pretty well. Just often works out like that. With these games, when you get crap, you play pretty well, and you just can't do anything about it. So let's have a swap, just in case there was a better end game, which is very possible. So we'll swap over to back to here. You have a question. Go on then. So we'll put add in. I played here. Eta. And I had that. So let's have a look, see if there's any better endgames here. Tituli, nice. Oh, yes. Yeah, that's nice. My outgame is like 8 points worse. Well, if the bot plays perfectly, it's actually 10 points worse, but near enough. So yeah, Tituli. So I guess it's yeah, the bot should actually block my out with Liz in the bottom left corner. That's why yeah, it suggests going there for there first and then playing Titty second because you've got 2 spots, and there's no value in blocking either. So that makes sense. But yeah, Tituli is definitely better. And let's just go through that. What would happen? Play Tituli. Domicile is also rather nice. Show you that domicile. But yeah, if you do Tituli, where is web camera? It's not on my on this Quackle bit. I haven't added it to it. That'd be too much to add around. Careful about. So let's have a look. And so yeah, there's actually after you play Tituli, it's just doing this. It must be blocking something with the eye blank. See what happens if you do off. Alright. That's why it's better, because you're playing yobs. Okay. So yeah, if you do that, is it still best to play yobs yet? Why is it better to do... Oh yes, because you get more out, I see. Alright, so if you play it off, then you have an O, and you can't score as much of that, basically. Alright, so that's explained. Walk back to ISC. Right, so that is that then. I actually managed to drag that out for an hour and a half, dear God. Yeah. So I know the YouTube comment I'm replying to, where's the web camera? Well, it's back now. But yeah, we're going to end the stream, so if you've got any more questions or queries, do shout them out quickly before we call it a night. It's been a long week. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention, next week, obviously I usually do my streams at 8 o'clock, but I think I'm going to move them back an extra half an hour, make it 8:30. Just to give me a bit more like time to do stuff during the day, so I'm not kind of rushing with meals and things. Yeah, I eat a ketogenic diet, so a lot of the time I just eat one big meal at around like 6 or 7. And if I get kind of backlogged, and because if I'm cooking like I've got brisket at the moment, so I've got 2 big joints of brisket in the fridge. So if like I cook something like that, it takes 2 hours, and I'm like, I only kind of realize I should eat something at about like 6 o'clock, and then yeah, so that's kind of the reasoning behind it. And also, once I've streamed, I don't do netfall after it. So if I kind of stream later, that's like half an hour extra productive time during the day. Because like once I've streamed, I'm not going to do anything after that, most realistically. Anyway, so thanks everybody for watching. Hopefully it's been fun and everything. People learn from it. And yeah, the good thing about online, if you've got computers, particularly being able to play and watch other people. I have a double monitor setup, so I tend to watch 2 streams at the same time, or I'll watch TV on one and have like a video game on the other one where somebody else is actually playing it. So, and I have one of them muted. I don't know why I do that, but it's not like I can watch both at the same time. But I try anyway. I think it's because to avoid advert breaks. Like, you know, if there's an advert come on, I need to watch something else. Otherwise, you know, like my head might explode or something. Anyway, thanks for the nice words, Heather, and we'll see you all again next time. And to say, I'll probably stream at 8:30 next week. It'll be back to the usual. Well, because I've got Scrabble Go, the app is my kind of my period of being ad free has expired, so I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to buy some more months or something. While I wait for Woogles and all that kind of thing. But yeah, I'll be playing all sorts next week. I'll definitely be streaming again regularly, as I have done this week, really. But without the exhaustive MSO stuff. So anyway, thanks everybody, and do drop us a like, a share, all that kind of thing. Help keep us going. And we'll see you all next time. Cheers, everybody. Happy Scrabbling.